Brethren, we're honored to have with us today Senator Gordon Smith and Ralph Harding. These two brethren have performed marvelous work for public affairs and for the church in general. And it's a privilege to have them here. And we've asked Ralph if he would introduce our wonderful senator. We're so pleased to have you with us. And now I'll turn it over if you two brethren like to come up. Then Ralph, if you'd introduce the senator, we'd appreciate it.
Dear brethren, I have known Senator Gordon Harold Smith since he was a boy of 2. In 1996, Gordon was elected to the United States Senate. I stand as a witness of his tireless advocacy for the vital interest of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For in my experience, he always stood ready first and foremost as a high priest and as a covenant member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint, and receptive and able and willing to serve its most vital interest in Washington and, in fact, internationally. Though I can't remember any Latter-day Saints that were permanent members of his staff, it was fair to say that his staff in the Senate was church broke. In fact, not many months ago, his legislative director called me on the phone and he said, "Ralph, you haven't called us for 6 weeks. What are we supposed to be doing?" And it was a great honor that I introduce Senator Gordon Harold Smith.
Thank you very much, Ralph, for your way too generous introduction. Brethren, I'm honored to be in your presence. My parents, Mylon Smith and Jessica Udall, raised me with a fundamental principle, and that is to follow the brethren. And so while I'm somewhat accustomed to speaking with United States senators and even presidents of the United States, I stand humbly before you because I know who you are, and I know my covenants, and I know the role that you play in this world in building the kingdom of God in Caesar's world. But building the kingdom of God in Caesar's world is a great challenge because the world could not be more secular, could not be more unbelieving, and perhaps in many ways the world could not be in a more calamitous condition. The free exercise of conscience is the first right of man. If you're not allowed to believe certain things and have nearly unfettered right to practice in pursuit of your beliefs, then government fails you, and the church's ability to prosecute or proselyte its mission is retarded. I believe one of the things that Ralph has called on me to do in Madrid and in Rome, in India, and in Belgium and other places in Russia have usually related to the issue of the freedom of conscience and the right of the church to have its representation there and to practice the faith that we hold dear. I know and have been a critic of the Iraq War, but I also admit to you I voted for it because I felt the Lord's hand in it. I hope it works out, but I can promise you this: you'll never send missionaries to the Arab Street until the rule of law exists in Arabia. And it has taken root in Iraq. And ultimately, I think that if that succeeds, there will be an opportunity to begin building the church in the Middle East, which is a deeply troubled place. Early in the Iraq War, I took occasion to go to Kirkuk. It is in the northern part of Iraq in the Kurdish region. Looking for a place to sit down, I heard call out Bishop Smith. I turned around and I looked and saw one of my Aaronic priesthood boys in the uniform of an American Army captain. And then he, after our conversation, said, "Are you going to General Conference?" He said, "Well, if you do and you see any of the brethren, will you tell them that the Kurdish people are ready for the gospel and we've already baptized 4." I don't know if you've got their records, but there are baptisms occurring in Iraq. I believe the Lord's hand exists in the affairs of nations. I have seen it. This Captain Gailey asked me to tell this story to you. I had occasion to tell it to President Hinckley. And when I did, tears coursed down his cheeks, and he said, "Senator, our missionaries always follow in the footsteps of American soldiers." So wars and rumors of wars there will be, but the Lord is in charge, just as he is in Iraq